Most teachers today aren't just working a job, they're navigating a collision between two competing systems. On the one hand, you have the education system that demands your heart, your intellect, and your constant availability. And yet, on the other hand, you have an economic survival system that demands that teachers work a second job just to make teaching financially possible. And if you're like the majority of teachers who leave school only to go to another job or a side gig, you aren't just exhausted, you are completely overextended and you are headed straight for a breakdown. So, in this video, I want to show you why this is happening and walk you through a wisdom based framework I call the 5 R's to help you reclaim your limits and to protect the center of your life, which is your heart. And that's the most important part of you. So, I recently read that 71% of teachers now work at least one side job, and most are doing it throughout the school year, not just in the summer. As we all know, summer side gigs have been a thing since teaching has been a thing, but up to 86% of teachers are, or 86% of the 71% of teachers are now working their side gig throughout the school year. And this issue isn't that you're just tired from the classroom. The issue is that the system is underpaying us so significantly. I can't get my words out. So the issue is not that teachers are just tired from the classroom. The issue is that the system is underpaying us so significantly that it's ridiculous. Roughly 25 to 27% less than other college educated professionals are how teachers are paid in their field today. And it's not like you're working a second job so that you can buy a boat. Teachers are working a second job so that they can buy eggs, so that they can pay for their rent, so that they can get gas to go back and forth to work. And that means that rest time is actually rent paying time. And we are literally, as teachers, trading our recovery time just to keep up with inflation and to survive. And you know what the funny thing is that the school demands preparation, it demands emotional leadership, it demands your time, it demands that you be there at all hours of the day and night sometimes. And the side gig that teachers are working or their second job, it demands all of your remaining energy. When these two systems demand that the same life at the same time, something eventually gives and something eventually breaks. And it's going to be the teacher. It'll never be the system that breaks. In the Bible, it says no one can serve two masters. And yet, that's exactly what the modern economy is forcing teachers to do. It's forcing us to serve in two different places without having the opportunity to rest and to recover and to take care of our mental health and our physical health. And that's why boundaries, those aren't just a luxury. Boundaries are a survival strategy. And if you're anything like me, you have difficulty setting and maintaining boundaries. And that's why I created a guide for us. It's free, it's 100% free, and it's always free. It's called Reclaim Your Limits. It'll help you draw your professional, personal, and relational boundaries. You can grab it down in the description box or you can get it on the QR code there. However, it is that you want to get it, just make sure that you go get it. All right, let's look at the chat. Whenever you jump in, teachers, when you jump in, let us know if you're a teacher. Let us know your grade level that you teach, your content area, and your state. I absolutely love knowing where teachers are watching from. We get a lot of teachers outside the country, believe it or not. We have a lot of teachers that come from Australia, from the UK, from the Netherlands, from Switzerland. We've had one from China. I don't even know how that happens. I guess they're an American teacher teaching in China. So whenever you come in, drop us a note. Let us know that you're here. And tell us what you do. Tell us where you work. Also, talking about those free resources right there, that's where you can get them right there at the QR code, or you can jump down in the description box and you can get them there. Whatever's best for you, whatever works for you, go ahead and jump down there and get them because they're free. They're always free, and they're 100% free. And I made them just for you, and they're specifically just for teachers. So those are yours. Last week we had an extraordinary live. I mean, we were on here for like an hour and 40 minutes. I've never been on a live an hour and 40 minutes a day in my life. And the chat was phenomenal. The topic was phenomenal. And that podcast will be edited this week, I think, and it should be released on Saturday. So y'all look for that. Also, if you're getting close to spring break, let me know. We are nowhere near spring break where I work. We don't go on spring break till sometime like the third week of April. However, we get what's called fair days down here. And that's when all of our kids have to go to the fair and show their animals for 4-H or FFA or whatever it is that they're involved in. And so we get like 3 days off next week, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday for those fair days. And so I'm pretty excited about that. I'm looking forward to having some time off. Also, I have no idea what the weather is around your area, but I live in Florida and it's like pushing up on 90 right now. So I'm super excited about that. I couldn't stand another cold day if I had to go through it. Also, next Sunday, we are live every Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. But next Sunday, we will not be live because every year, my son and I, my youngest son, we both go to the Players Championship over in Jacksonville. So I don't know if we have any golf fans out there or anything like that. But if you're a golf fan, if you watch the Players Championship, because it'll be on TV, I will be behind the 17th green. Sitting back there watching professional golfers hit the ball in the water. And I always think to myself, if that's all you had to do to be a professional golfer, I could have been a professional golfer years ago because I have hit plenty of balls in the water. Once again, if you're just now jumping in, let us know. Let us know what your content area is, what grade level you teach, and where you're watching from. Also, our topic tonight is about teacher pay because I came across a couple of articles this week and I read them. And what I learned is that the number is much higher than what I thought it would be. Is like 71% of teachers have to work a second job, and not just in the summertime. 71%, 86 out of that 71% of teachers is working a side job during the school year. If that's you out there, drop it down in the chat. Tell me what it is that you have to do just to make ends meet. Tell me what your side gig is. It may come hard to believe, but I've been in education now for right at 17 years, almost 18 years. I'm pushing up on 18 years. And out of those 18 years, there has never been a time where I worked just as a teacher. I have always had a second job, and not just in the summertime. I have always had to work two jobs as if like full-time jobs, because what I did previously is whenever I first went into education, I was the pastor of a church. I spent almost 14 years at that church. I was over 20 years in the pastoral ministry, and the entire time that I was in the ministry and in education, I worked those two jobs. And I want to tell you that they are both of those jobs are super demanding, and they were very difficult on me. I have since not been in the pastorate anymore, and now I work this job. I do YouTube. It's a side gig, right? It makes a little bit of money, through AdSense and things like that. But I'm telling you, man, I got to work, and I've often wondered sometimes if all this side gig stuff is even necessary or is even worth it, because I got to be honest with you, it wears me out. You tell me about you. Once again, when you check in, tell us what your grade level is. Tell us what you teach. Give us your state. Let us know. Do you have to work? Do you have to work a side gig? Are you one of the 71% of teachers in the nation that have to work two jobs just to make things meet? Now, the interesting thing is that burnout doesn't just happen because you had one bad day or because you had one bad Tuesday. Burnout is like a perfect storm of three pressures that stack up on the shoulders of teachers until the weight becomes completely unbearable. The first pressure that teachers face is emotional output, because nobody is just a teacher. Nobody just teaches math. Nobody just teaches history. What we're actually doing at school is we're regulating 30 different nervous systems while trying to manage parents and an administration. And oh, by the way, did I mention that we have to manage our own nervous system? That's pressure number one. Pressure number two is the financial deficit. When your paycheck doesn't cover your rent, when your home stops being a place of rest and starts being a source of stress, when your school loans that you had to take out in order to get the education that you have, when they are higher than your actual annual salary, that is a financial pressure. And then there's time compression. When you take a second job, or you have to take a second job as a teacher, you have to trade your recovery time for survival money. That's what's happening to 75% of the teachers in the nation, is they have to go to school, they have to work 8 hours on a job, they have to walk off that job and then go and take up another job. Instead of having downtime, instead of having the ability to rest and to decompress, they have to walk right into another stressful situation. And I understand that absolutely, probably maybe more than anybody, because 4 years ago, I hit a wall. I hit a wall just like that. I woke up one morning and my face was completely paralyzed. I mean, I thought I had a stroke. My kids thought I had a stroke. The kids at school thought I had a stroke. Everybody thought I had a stroke. Thank the Lord, I didn't have a stroke. But my doctor did look at me and he says, look, John, he says, if you don't do something about your stress, then your stress is going to do something about you. And that's when I realized that I was just surviving. I wasn't working and I wasn't surviving. And there's a difference between surviving and thriving. And that's where we want to go tonight. We want to get back on the thriving channel. California, second grade. This channel has been a lifesaver for me. Holy cow, I'm going to put that up. That is excellent. I appreciate that, Lee. I can't hardly see it. Lee Sat 9311, man. I appreciate you. Where are you at in California, by the way? If you don't mind telling me, Southern California, Northern California. I only ask that because we have a lot of people that come in here on Sunday nights, and they're usually from around the Southern Los Angeles area. I just kind of wonder where you at. I know we have a couple that are in Northern California. We have a lot of people that are in the Northeast. We have a lot of folks in here from Texas. So I'm just curious what area that you're in. And by the way, while everybody's here, here's our free resources. They're free. They're 100% free, and they're always free. I want to encourage you to jump down into the description box, download all of those, or use the QR code if you're watching on your TV, whatever it is that you do. Grab those and use them to take care of yourself. I think we have our reclaiming your limits. We're going to talk about that probably again in a minute. We have our 5-minute reset. We have our Teach Without Burnout guide, which is one of our most popular guides. It's we've had it out for the longest. So jump down there and grab those and take advantage of them. Also, I don't know. I was just talking about 4 years ago, my face went paralyzed. I was really struggling. I thought that I was going to die. I really did. I didn't think I was going to make it. And that led to part and partial, a 3-year coaching relationship for me. I entered into with a friend that in the coaching business. And at one time, I was in that relationship one time a week. Every week, I spent like an hour with him trying to work through the issues that I was dealing with. So if that's you, if you're struggling, I want you to know that you don't have to struggle alone and you can be healthy. You can scan it right there on the screen, or you can grab it down in the description box. Book a discovery call with me and listen, let's get back on track, because you're not alone in all this. Most teachers are in the ditch as it relates to how we feel and how it is that we're striving. So here's the thing. At Teacher Talk, we're a faith-based organization, and it's not because we want to be offensive. It's because that's who we are. And it's also because we think that this is the only thing grounded enough to help us handle the kind of pressure that we deal with as teachers. And Proverbs chapter 4 and verse number 23 says, above all else, guard your heart, for from it flows the issues of life. And when we are overworked, our hearts are the first things that begin to erode. We lose our patience, we lose our joy, and eventually we lose our why. And I know that that's like a trick word, and that's the favorite word of all the people that are around us, our administrators and this and that and the other, to say, hey, you got to remember your why. You got to remember your why. And I kind of understand that. But the fact of the matter is, when you're frustrated and when you're barely surviving, remembering your why is the least thing that you want to do. Now, here's the thing. The Bible praises diligence. Being a diligent worker is a good thing. It is honorable to work hard. It is a noble thing to want to be good at your profession. But the scripture goes on to warn us about endless striving or overextending ourselves, which is what 71% of teachers are doing in America right now. The writer of the Proverbs says this in Proverbs chapter 23 and verse number 4. He says, do not wear yourself out to get rich. Be wise enough to restrain yourself. And I don't want you to get all caught up on the word rich, because none of us are trying to be rich. We're not out working to be able to buy our second home. We're just trying to be able to pay our bills. So I don't want you to get caught up on that. But what I do want you to get caught up on is the phrase that says, be wise enough to restrain yourself. We have to know our limits. And wisdom is knowing when your efforts have crossed the line from healthy hard work into destructive overextension. 71% of teachers are in the destructive overextension phase in America right now. And if you're at that line right now and you don't have, or if you're at that line right now and you're struggling and you don't know what to do, or maybe you're like I was 4 years ago, you hit a wall and you're up against it and you can't seem to get things straightened out like I couldn't, I want to encourage you to go ahead and book a discovery call with us. We take about 30 minutes of time and we work through your issues. And I use my proprietary 5R framework to help us work through your particular issues, which I'm going to share right here. This is the first time I've ever shared this live. But if you are struggling, here's a way out. And isn't that what we want, is a way out? And so if you want to move back, or if you want to move to, well, I don't really know what I want to say. If you want to move from survival back to stability, then you have to have a framework. And this is the basis of how I coach all teachers or all people that I meet with, and I help them stay in the profession without them having to lose their ever-loving mind, because that seems like that's what happens to us as teachers. The very first thing that you have to do if you want to go from survival back to stability is you have to recognize the pressure that you're under. You have to recognize the things that are draining you physically, emotionally, spiritually, and mentally. And you have to stop telling yourself that you just need to be more organized, or that if you work a little bit harder, you can get through all of this. The pressure that we face as teachers is a systemic pressure. And acknowledging that we have a systemic pressure in our life, that's not complaining. It's not being a crybaby. It's clarity. Before you can ever get better, before you can ever overcome whatever it is that you're dealing with, whatever pressure it is in your life, you have to clearly identify what it is, because you cannot change anything if you don't know what you're dealing with. The second thing is you have to reject the lie of endless capacity. Teachers are human beings. I hear this all the time that teachers are superheroes and that we have superhero strengths. And what is your superpower? And I want you to know that none of that is true. We're not superheroes. Our teachers heroes absolutely because of how we shape the future, but we're not superheroes. And we don't have superpowers. We're not superhuman. We're not a machine. We are human beings. And because we're human beings, we have limits. Learning to respect those limits, that's not weakness on your part or my part. Learning to respect limits, that is wisdom. And that is why the scripture says, don't break your neck trying to get rich, but realize and be wise enough to restrain yourself. That's why we have to have boundaries. And that is number 3. Reclaim your limits. This is the core of what we talk about at Teacher Talk. You have to decide what it is that you're going to do and what it is that you're not going to do. Because if you don't set your boundaries, then the system, whether it's the education system or the economic system, they will set your boundaries. They will set them for you. And when you let something else set your boundaries, they will always take more than you have to give. And as teachers, that is precisely what we're doing. We let everybody else set our boundaries. And oftentimes, whenever we do establish a boundary, we let those very people run over top of us and topple those boundaries. You cannot do that. It is not selfishness. It is wisdom. Set your boundaries. So let's go over here to the chat. Golly, I tell you, this night is flying by. Oh, yeah, Southern California. That's what I'm talking about. Good warm weather. Good warm weather down there. I am so glad that you're here, Lee. Once again, if you're out there, just drop in, give us a note, let us know what's going on. Give us your grade level and what it is that you do. Also wanted to remind you that all of our free resources, they're right here at the QR code or they're linked down in the description box. You can run down there. You can get those. They're free. They're 100% free. They're always free. Or if you choose, if you're like most teachers or if you're like I was several years ago, if you'd like to book a discovery call, you can meet with me. We can meet they're 30-minute calls, but they usually go about an hour. My wife gets after me. She tells me I shouldn't do that. Says it's too much. It could be that she's right, but the fact of the matter is I like sitting with people. I like talking with people, and the goal is to help teachers and to help get them back on the path to having joy in the classroom. And once again, tonight I'm sharing my 5 R's. You can take all the notes you want. You can steal them, do whatever you want to with them. But these 5 R's is the framework that was developed out of a large amount of pain for me, going through several years of burnout. It took almost 3 years for me to recover. I'm fully healthy. I'm fully doing well, and I've tried to take the pain of that burnout and turn it into this work that we call Teacher Talk now, and try to do these things because we want to be helpful to as many people as we possibly can. Hey, Ripples in the Water, good to see you. It's a slow night, Ripples in the Water. Ripples in the Water is also from Southern California, Lee. Isn't that right, Ripples? Did I remember that correctly? I think I did. So glad that you're in here this evening. Hope everything's going well down there. The 4th R is to reconnect with your priorities. When everything feels urgent, nothing is important. And that seems to be the way most people, in particular teachers, as to how we live our life. We have an urgency addiction because we're type A driven individuals, self motivators, self starters. And we love the dopamine hit that we get whenever we finish a project. And so, in order to keep the dopamine going, then we have to go from project to project to project to completion to completion to completion in order for us to continue to feel well. And so, as a result, everything becomes important. You have to reorder your life intentionally. In our, golly, I'm having such a hard time. In our, one of our guides, I can't even remember what my own guide is. Oh, in our Reclaim Your Limits guide, or the Teach Without Burnout guide, you work through a matrix of things that are important versus urgent, and it helps you work through the different things that you have to do, not just in your life, but in your classroom, and so that you can put those things in order so that you can take care of them. So let's go over here to the chat. Hey, who we got here? Hi there. Hey, good to see you. Hi there. Keep doing the good work you're doing. Very helpful. UK. What did I tell you? I told you. All over the world. I can't believe that we are, golly, who could have thought that a teacher, that a dude could just sit in his son's old bedroom, right, and hook up a microphone to a computer and somehow reach teachers around the world. I'm so glad that you are here. 5711. I appreciate you jumping in tonight, and I appreciate you watching all the way over from the UK. It's a slow night tonight. We have people in here from Australia, all over the place. I'm amazed. So our fifth R is restore your rhythm. As people, we're designed for a cadence in life. If you notice, everything in the world has a cycle. For instance, there is a high tide and there's a low tide. As a matter of fact, that is so on schedule that you can look in books and it'll tell you 3 years from now when it's going to be low tide over in Southern California on the Pacific Ocean, as well as over where I'm at in Florida in the Atlantic Ocean, because it happens regularly. The moon goes through a cycle. The earth rotates. The seasons come, the seasons go. It's like what the writer of Ecclesiastes says. The writer of Ecclesiastes says that there is a time for everything. There's a time to laugh. There's a time to cry. There's a time to mourn. There's a time to celebrate. All of those things are explaining cycles in life. Life is about rhythm and about balance. And you have to restore that, because I don't know about you, but a lot of times I feel out of balance. And when I do, I find it very difficult for me to function. You were designed for a work-rest cycle. And somehow in 2026, as it relates to the teacher has lost the work-rest cycle. We have a work-work cycle. Again, 71% of teachers are working a second job. 86% of that 71 are working that second job while they're teaching throughout the year. I have worked multiple jobs as a teacher for as long as I have been in education. And again, it's not because I want to buy a boat. It's just because I want to pay the bills and keep up with inflation. That's what teachers are dealing with. Without rhythm or without cycles in your life, you're not living, you're performing. And performance is what will drive us into the ground. We were not intended to perform. We were intended to be people of purpose. Now, as you know, here at Teacher Talk, our core verse is this: you got to guard your heart, because everything from it, or you got to guard your heart. I can't get it out tonight. Above all else, guard your heart, for from it flow the issues of life. You gotta you gotta rebuild rhythm so that the work that you do, doesn't destroy the person that you are. And if you want to know more about how to set your limits, then check out this video right up here and it'll help you. So let's jump over to the chat. It is slow in here tonight. Ripples in the water. Appreciate you coming in. Says it was a nice day today. Absolutely. I don't know what that means. Oh, she's trying to figure out where he's at in the UK. Oh, look at that. The birds sang that too. Which one is that? Which one are you referring to? Oh, to everything there is a season. Turn, turn, turn. I got you. Gotcha. Took me a minute. I appreciate it. So next week we'll be back with Dr. Pender. We're short tonight. We got a lot of stuff going on, so we're going to check out. Appreciate everybody coming out. And once again, make sure you jump down into the description box or you use our QR code there. Get all of our free resources and enjoy your evening. Thank you.